Hello everybody, welcome to Holyoke. A little bit of a different spot out here in the field this time. I'll show you for that reason in just a second here. You can see tire tracks in the field here. The grass for the hay is getting quite long out here and we're looking really good. This is June 13th, 2023. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon, and last I looked at the temperature gauge on the truck here, it was 83 degrees out here. Kind of warm for us guys way up here in the north, but it is what it is. But we do have, as you can probably see with the way the grass is waving here in the wind, a nice wind. Looks like it's from actually the northeast, but must not be strong enough to be pulling that cold air off of Lake Superior all the way down here. All right, the reason for our visit here, at least this part of the field today, is that we're going to be checking in on a couple things I put up last week, and actually 3 things. And let's turn around here and take a walk towards this big old popple tree here. As you can probably already see, I've got a box hanging up here, and one of my swarm traps. And you might also notice we got some bees going in and out. Haven't seen any pollen come in yet, so I don't think they are in here. Perhaps just scout bees, but they are, at least they have found it. So there you go. I will be doing a little bit more on my swarm traps and how I set them up and the platform I'm using, but you get a little bit of an idea here about how it's going, and ratchet strapping and all the challenges I had last year with this. I mean, the setup was great. There were just some other challenges like big black furry critters. So we'll get to that in a little bit. So this is way out here, kind of in the southwest corner of the field, and I'm sure it's probably not even visible, but way up there in the north end of the field is where the apiary is, both Bee Yard 1, Bee Yard 2. So we'll be heading to a couple more of the swarm traps I have out here, checking on them, and we'll come back when that's done. Well, here we are at the next swarm trap, up in the very northwest corner of the field. And actually I have one more that's visible from here, just under the trunk lid there, but we're going to be checking out a different one here. And I'll turn around and look up in this popple tree. Not much for activity here, so I'm thinking that maybe the other one is a swarm that moved in. I don't know, but I just sprayed on some Swarm Commander there and put some on underneath. Probably can't see, it's already looks like it's evaporated or sunk into the wood, but we're good to go here. Lots of flies out. I'm seeing horse flies, deer flies, and all that great ascenderance of stuff that we usually get this time of year. So time to get out the bug zapper. All right, on to the next one. All right, we're finally at the third and final swarm trap we have out here at Holyoke. Across the field, you can see the one we were just at, up in the popple tree there, and just over to my right a little bit is the last one. Not much going on here, but the only thing I gotta say, it looks like there might have been some robbing here. I see some wax cappings or something in here, so maybe they're robbing it out for the wax that I have in the frames inside. So here we go, and give a little view underneath too, and on top. This one's a little lower than the others, so I can at least get to show you a little view from the top there. Well, I don't see any bees going in and out here. Maybe that's what the other bees are doing at the other one, the first one we looked at. Maybe they're robbing it for wax. Still waiting for a nectar flow to come in here, although I do see a lot of flowering plants here, but I don't see any clover yet in bloom, and that should be coming out here within the next 4 or 5 days, I think. I see a lot of clover plants and buds, but no actual flowers yet. All right, next stop is the back over at the Apiary Bee Yard 2. Well, we are now at the apiary itself, and Bee Yard number 2, since everything was moved out of Bee Yard 1, what was it, 3 weeks ago or so, over to Bee Yard 2. And boy, things are hopping here. Girls flying, there's bearding on the front, which means it's probably pretty warm inside the hive, so I'm going to go through and open up the top vents. Just ventilation, not entrance, on those homemade entrance discs. And I'll give you a run by here as I do that. I did collect data now, temperature data from inside. Everything looks like it's up in the upper 90s. There's one, it was 101, so maybe a little too warm in there. That's why I'm concerned about temperature up in the upper broods there. So I'll get through and do that. Again, still 83 degrees on the north end of the field here. And as you can see, I've got my hippie style, well, okay, not hippie, but if you grew up in the 60s, you'd know why I said that, Peace Brother. And, but this is a wet band for me. I take a bandana, roll it up, and catches all that sweat, because there's not much up here to catch sweat. I really don't care for it dripping down into my eyes and out of my glasses, so that's why I do that. So let me put up the hood here, just a quick run past here and try and get those top entrances opened up, at least to ventilation. And you can see here we got lots of girls out in front here, and some bearding going on underneath there too. So, try and make my movements slow here. There's usually a girl or two in there, so I try not to swing the opening past the full open, otherwise I try climbing out and I slice them in half, so kind of like a guillotine. So I'll go from fully closed over to the queen excluder and over to ventilation. I'm sure they probably have plenty of bees in there to guard that, but nonetheless, I still don't think I'm quite ready for fully open just yet. Maybe soon, another couple of weeks or so of this warm weather, we'll be ready. All right, and we'll walk you past here. Bearding there. Remember, my strawn hives were the first one down here, 3, 5, and 6. Well, 6 doesn't have as many bees out front, so I wonder if they swarmed. I don't think they would have, but maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. And then my 2 weaker hives were number 4 here and number 7. So well, there's some drones. You see they're really making use of that entrance on top and the wider entrance down below. It might be time pretty soon to put in my 2 entrances. We'll consider that maybe next time I'm out here. We're still getting temperatures down into the low 40s at night, so still a little bit concerned about letting too much cold air in at night, but I think with the amount of bees I see here, that won't be a problem. They can probably warm things up just fine. All right, well, I'll finish suiting up here, and today's task is finally, with all those bees there, let's give them something to do. I'm going to put on some supers if they need it. I'm pretty sure from the looks of it here that we got enough bees and there'll be plenty to go. I'll be lifting the boxes to see how heavy they are. Hopefully they're bringing in some. Last time I was here, I did lift some and they felt pretty heavy. In order to lift the box, I have to, of course, pull off my straps. because the straps wrap around a 2x4 on the bottom here, so it pulls, the straps pull it down tight onto the rack we got here. So once you try doing it with a strap on once, you would quickly learn that that's not the right way to go. So all right, let me finish suiting up, like I said, and we'll take a look and see if they are going to start requiring some supers on. Getting ready here to put on supers, and I'll be totally truthful. The first time I got any honey was last year, my second summer, but I didn't get very much. If it was 3 or 4 pounds, that was probably all I got. And I didn't even harvest it. I kept it because I want to put it in as seed this year to the colonies that I have, and I'm going to be putting these on today. So hopefully this looks familiar. These things here, these are frames, and plastic frames. These are for supers, or mediums as they're called. They're already pre-waxed, triple coated wax on these, so the girls should really like these a lot. But hopefully you've already noticed a problem with this. Yeah, there's no comb drawn out on it, right? And in fact, I don't have any foundation, waxed foundation frames that have any comb on them. So so how did I get honey last year? Well, I went a slightly different route. My first year of beekeeping, I went out in anticipation of hopefully getting something that first year, which didn't happen. I bought some different kind of frames, and I'm not even sure if they are still in business, but let me try and dig one out here. They're stuck in here pretty good, and the queen bee Diane will be extremely happy that this box is now out of the kitchen. It's been there all winter. We've been trying to keep it safe, but here's what we have. Now at first glance it might look like a white foundation frame, but you'll notice that it is actually pretty thick. It's pretty thick. This was, it may still be, a product called Permacomb. Perma like permanent comb. And what it is plastic injection molded honeycomb. And it is the standard depth, and of course the regular cell height, width, and all that. And I thought, you know, it'd be really nice just so we can get a head start on this, and in the off chance that we have to put out our supers after the girls stop making wax, which seems to be right around for us middle of July, maybe third week of July, somewhere in there is when they seem to start, I shouldn't say stop, but they start slowing down. I think that's probably because the queen is starting to slow down in her laying of number of eggs and all the fresh hatchings or emergence. So the Permacomb is that, and I will be putting Permacomb in here. I will, on my strongest hive, which is hive number 3, I'm going to give them these, and I'm going to watch them close and see if they can build these out anytime soon. Like I said, we're still waiting for that main nectar flow here, and I'm hoping to catch the girls at a good time, and they can start building me out some frames with actual real comb on it. Now, this is my frames that I did get honey on last year, and you can see a little bit in this frame. It's not a whole lot there, but nonetheless, it's something, like I said, I'm going to put it in as seed, and hopefully they'll get interested in this stuff and say, oh, hey, we can store honey there. Or maybe they're so hungry right now they'll just gobble it right up. Who knows? But anyway, this is what I got from last year. And I'm going to put one of these in the box that is closest to the hive boxes that are here, the third deep on top here. Of course, as per usual, I'll also be putting in queen excluders, and you can see through the flash of light there that this does have some wax on them. In fact, most of them do, from last year when I did try to use them. So I know there's people that say, oh, don't use queen excluders. Go ahead, use queen excluders. I'm going to say I'm going to err on the side of caution here. I do want to use queen excluders, and some people of course call them honey excluders, but I want to see, make sure that the queen isn't going to come up in here and start putting some brood in my supers. So put one of those on. I'll take off, of course, the cover and the inner cover, and on top of that third box I'll put in one of these queen excluders. And then that first box down, I will be, let me get this turned around for you here. I'll be down like that. That first box in there, I'm going to be putting in one seed frame only on the bottom box, because I don't have enough honey frames to go around in two stacks. I'll be putting on 2 boxes at a time on top of each one. So I'll be doing the usual 9 across, and I just spent about 15 minutes looking for my orange spacers. Can't find them here in the truck. And you know why? Because I cleaned out the truck last Friday because our photo club was going to go up to a state park and take some pictures, and so I'm sure it's probably in the garage somewhere, and I just missed it when I started putting everything in yesterday for today's trip. So there you go. Anyway, we got these frames. I'm going to, a lot of these already have some wax on them, and so they should smell pretty good to the girls when they put them back in. Hopefully they won't be foreign to them. But I'll put in 9. I'll space them out, but in the middle, or close to the middle as I can get, probably the middle. What would that be? Number 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the 5th frame in will be my seed honeycomb, and hopefully that'll be enough to get them interested, draw them up, and then realize, oh, we can do this with the rest of them. I know that bees probably don't think like I do, but hopefully there's some semblance of that there. So, and I'm debating whether I'm going to put a seed frame in these waxless, or the waxed super frames, but maybe not, because I've heard said that you don't want to mix these Permacomb with the standard ones. So I think I might try one, but all the rest, I'm just going to have one of these here in Holyoke, at least for now. And I'm going to then put the rest in on these Permacombs. And speaking of extra space out here, I do have three more spots on this rack for some bees. So I'm going to be moving some from the Windy Ridge out to here. Not just because it's so cold there, Windy Ridge, all the time, but because there's going to be, I'm pretty much done nursing along the new packages, and I think they're ready to be out here on their own, and this is a much better place for foraging out here, that's for sure. And we'll watch them grow up pretty fast. And that's going to come, but I still have Bee Yard number 1 to go through. That'll be another video. I got to resize that rack and get that fixed up so that can hold some more. Ideally, I'd like to have some hives here, some hives over there, have these spaced out pretty good here, etc. So we'll cross that road when we get to it. Maybe next week's going to be really tight with time. In 2 weeks, probably 2 weeks, I'll be doing that. All right, well, that's it for here. Let me start pulling covers off. We'll move the camera over and you can see what's going on in hive number 3. And I suspect that they won't like me very much disturbing them here. So of course I did fire up the smoker here. And yes, I got to try and remember to keep giving a little air once in a while. And it's smoking pretty good. So let's get her going. Well, everybody, there you go. We did it. We put supers on each one. Each of the hives looked pretty strong. This one was a little bit weak, and maybe this one, but there was still plenty of bees on the top box of each hive, so I really don't have any qualms about doing that. Hopefully they'll find them. They'll find that one little enticing permacomb that we put in there in each one of them. And then again, I put in 4 stacks here of permacomb, and this one, hive number 6, no, where am I at here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you. Hive number 5 has the standard black plastic foundation, triple wax foundation, and hopefully they'll go to town on that. Just noticed I still got some tails out here blowing in the wind. I'll have to fix those up quick before I leave. I didn't do that earlier because just in case I had to get back in there, it's a little easier just to undo the ratchet strap and get in rather than uncurl everything. You know, it's just a little time saver. When I'm done, I will curl that all back up and get it out of there. Otherwise, those straps, they'll blow out here and they'll slap on the hives, and if that were me, inside that hive, I would get a little worried, like what's beating on our hives out here, and come out and investigate. So anyway, so supers on. I'm pretty excited about this. Put supers on last year and got some honey, like I said, but not really enough. But this year we're looking light years ahead of where I was last year. The first year I did it was kind of experimental with 4 hives. Last year I went with 16 hives, and by the time winter came I wrapped up 14 because I lost a couple in there. But 9 survived, and here we are. We're gonna give it a shot again. So very thankful, very blessed to have this location out here. We are in almost, I'd say, a drought in the past 2 weeks. This is June 13th, and we've had so far in June 0.03, 3/100ths of an inch of rain so far in June. That's very unusual to be that dry for June. It's kind of one of our wettest summer months. Usually when we get out in August when things dry up a bit, but pretty unusual for this early in the summer to be this dry. I think I owe it though to Holyoke here. Looks like it's doing very well out there. A lot of growth. The grass is, I want to say, a good 3 feet, maybe a little over 3 feet high out there. So hopefully that's going to do good as hay for the landowners here. But I do believe that because we're kind of in a lowlands, not quite a swamp obviously, but lowlands, and that the water table is up pretty high, that they're still getting a lot of, for the trees and the flowers and everything, getting a lot of moisture out of the ground from that water table. At least that's my humble opinion. Well, that's it. I got to get going here. I've got not even sure what time it is, probably past 6, I'm guessing. But I've got a Western Apicultural Society, a WAS, online webinar mini conference, they call it, tonight at 8 o'clock. And I'll be joining that. And sit down after a long hot day. Maybe I'll find some lemonade and get that going, because still pretty warm out here, although it's probably cooled down a degree or two from 83. But looking forward to getting in the car. Oh, here's a bumblebee coming around checking things out here. But don't go in there, they'll get you. They will attack and kill bumblebees, that's for sure. That's it for now. Thank you for watching this episode from Windy Ridge Apiaries. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications on any newly posted videos. And at your discretion, please leave a comment below. And until next time, do a good day.